What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Long weekend this past weekend, a bunch of stuff happening, including the D23 event where we found out all kinds of cool stuff surrounding things like Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man, Battlefront 2, and then we also got a trailer that was behind closed doors for the new Avengers Infinity Wars coming out next year. There was a lot of stuff about it kind of circulating around the internet for people who actually saw it, and it sounded awesome. Of course, it had Doctor Strange and Spider-Man in the trailer, along with Iron Man and everyone else. But there was some other stuff that happened. Like I said, Kingdom Hearts had a big place there. And that's kind of where we're going to start. Now, Kingdom Hearts, if you missed the D23 event, I did a summary video. You can check that out in the card above right now. I did a full review of it, summary and everything. But the big thing was Kingdom Hearts. We get a date of 2018, and then we, of course, see the PS4 and the Xbox One systems as well. And that kind of sent some people a little crazy, because I think some were going into that event hoping that there was going to be a Switch release announcement of some kind. Either they flash the logo on screen along with the others, or they just outright say it's coming to the Switch. But the creator decided to leave the door open when he was interviewed by IGN. He said this: "The Nintendo Switch is definitely a very interesting piece of hardware, but if we lightly say, oh yeah, we'll be on the Nintendo Switch, I'm sure people will come back and say, but what about the PS4 and Xbox One? We went them out first. Don't focus on other platforms. So for now, we want to focus on what platforms we've already announced we're going to be releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 on. So after, perhaps, maybe we can start thinking about other possibilities." And that was in an interview between Tetsuya, Nomura, and IGN. Of course, IGN said, hey, what about the Switch? I feel like that's what a lot of these companies, whoever announces these big games, if there's no Switch announcement at all, they always run up and say, what about the Switch? What about the Switch? You know, with the microphone in their face. So they're used to it. I feel like he had this at least in the back of his mind because he knew he was going to get this asked of him. And what's happening here is they're not sure if it's going to go to the Nintendo Switch. They're not on the side of no, they're not on the side of yes. They're probably somewhere in the middle. They more than likely haven't even had a chance to work with the Switch, simply because Kingdom Hearts 3 right now is in crunch time. I mean, really, if you think about it, Kingdom Hearts 3 has been worked on for a while now. The Kingdom Hearts 2 came out forever, what feels like forever ago, right? Back in 2005. Yes, it was a month after well, not even, like 2 or 3 weeks after the 360 release. That was the last time we had a full mainline Kingdom Hearts game in Kingdom Hearts 2. So at this point, they've given us a date which they need to stick to, at least a release year, so they need to stick to it. If they push it back now, it's not going to be pretty at this point with how fans are. So they are in crunch time. The last thing they need to worry about now is another system. I know a lot of people want it to go to the Switch, but they just need to get it out. They just need to get this game out on the market. Get it out on the PS4, the Xbox One, so they can start recouping some of their development costs, because they've got to be high. I mean, very high. So they're going to work with that. They'll maybe visit the Switch. I mean, seriously, if it's going to come to the Switch, it'll probably be a year later, for example. They have no problem, as we've seen, releasing these Kingdom Hearts games several times over, right? We've seen them released on the PS2 and then the PS3. Of course, the PS3, they upgraded some visuals and everything, but if you consider the Switch, kind of putting it on the Switch and it becoming a handheld would be an upgrade for some people, being able to take Kingdom Hearts 3 wherever you want. And there's gonna be a lot of people out there who say, but it's on Unreal Engine 4, you could just move it right over. While I'm sure it's easier to port this game, it's not gonna be like that. You're not gonna just snap your fingers and it's gonna work. There's gonna have to be some stuff they're gonna have to change for the Switch, especially in portable mode, and really resolution, dynamically scaling. There's a lot of stuff they're gonna have to move to that system. And we don't even know, honestly, at this point, how it runs on the PS4 versus the Xbox One. We don't know resolution, we don't know frame rate. I mean, this is all stuff that's going to be looked at when it comes out, specifically by, say, Digital Foundry, for example, and then we'll really know, because let's say it comes out and it's 1080p, 60 frames on the Xbox One, somehow, let's just say, you know, just throw that out there. Then, really, the Switch, yeah, the Switch will run it fine at that point. Maybe different resolutions, obviously lower, or frame rate might change, as we've seen with Xenoverse 2, but then it could run it. But if it comes out on the Xbox One and it's 720p at 30 frames, they're going to have to do some finagling there with resolutions and stuff just to get it work on the Switch, especially in something like portable mode. So it's going to be interesting, but don't expect the Switch version next year, maybe 2019, maybe 2020, if they're able to do it that fast even. It's going to come down to how well it works when it comes out, does need to be patched, and do they have DLC planned. There's a lot of stuff that kind of fall in line there. And then if they have time, they'll probably work on a port to the Nintendo Switch, because by that time, the Nintendo Switch will be in full swing in Japan. Next up, we have Dragon Ball Fighters, and everyone's been following this game. It looks great. It looks just like the anime. The fighting style looks fun. It's fast, and even pros are starting to have a good time with it. And now we know that Trunks will be a playable character. I think a lot of us assumed this because we're just assuming that all of these characters from Dragon Ball Z are going to be playable, but it looks like they are technically confirming characters as we go along. They showed Trunks using his sword with his signature burning attack, fighting Frieza. It looks awesome. It looks like he's going to be a really fun character to play as. And of course, everyone wants it for the Switch version. There's a lot of fans out there who want it to come to a system that's portable like the Switch, but developers and creators for Dragon Ball FighterZ are they're still in the we'll see kind of category, because when asked at EVO 2017, essentially they want everyone to focus on Xenoverse 2, simply saying, we want players to go there, and then we could talk about fighters. Now, they also confirmed that there won't be any crossplay between PC or any consoles, and it looks like now they want everyone to really focus on Xenoverse 2. That makes sense. They don't want you to get too far ahead of something that's not even confirmed. Why would they want that? They want you to focus on what they've made already, which is Xenoverse 2. People are going to buy it, and then they're going to kind of look forward after that. The game that's actually in existence, Xenoverse 2, is what they're marketing and what they're worrying about. They're not worrying about something that doesn't even exist right now, which is Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Switch. Will it show up on the Switch? Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I mean, Xenoverse 2 is coming over. Who knows? Right now, all they know is FighterZ is coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Xenoverse 2 is coming out on the Switch. So they'll worry about FighterZ if it does get developed and moved to the Switch. But right now, they just want you to just worry about Xenoverse 2. Don't forego Xenoverse 2 just because you think FighterZ is coming over. Then we had the Splatfest. The Splatfest went well, according to a lot of people. They had a good time in it. And we, of course, had the cake versus ice cream debate, team versus team. And, of course, they even had Reggie kind of get on Team Ice Cream side on Twitter. And at the end, we found out that, yes, Team Ice Cream did win 2-1 over Team Cake. However, everyone had a really good time online, and Splatoon 2 is fun online, as you guys have played. If you like Splatoon 1, it's a good time. I hope a lot of people who have not played Splatoon got a chance to try it out and enjoyed it, or maybe they found out it wasn't for them. I think at this point, Splatoon 2 is going to do really well. Like, really well. I think a lot of people in Japan obviously will buy it, but I think there's going to be a lot of people in the United States, Europe, all over the world that have never played Splatoon that are going to get into it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it sells and if Nintendo can get more systems out there to the public. There was one other really funny thing, and that's that Splatoon 2, as a lot of people found out, if you quit out of matches over and over again, you will get a screen that comes up and says, wow, this is really fishy. You keep quitting out of matches, so we're going to let you take it easy for a bit and time out, and then you'll be allowed back on at some point. So they're blocking quitters, people who quit out consistently, I guess. My only concern here is that they accidentally, at this point, block or put people in timeout who are just having connection issues, because who knows how things like the Wi-Fi for the Switch can be kind of iffy sometimes, or even if online servers are all over the place. I hope they can detect if you are actually going into the menu and quitting, rather than just disconnecting from their server and dropping off, because it'd be a shame if people are just getting blocked due to server problems. Although this is pretty funny because it kind of reminds me of Mr. Rossetti from Animal Crossing, if you remember that, where you turn it off without saving. He would get really mad at you. And in our last bit of news, we talked about WWE 2K18 coming over to the Switch. We talked all about that. And we were given a release date of October 17th, along with the other systems, the PS4, Xbox One. And it looks like they have now moved the release date from October 17th for the Switch to simply fall 2017. Apparently they've done that with NBA 2K as well. There have been people actually reporting that their NBA 2K18 pre-order on the Switch is like delayed. So if you have it pre-ordered on Amazon, check and let us know in the comments if yours is as well. So it looks like 2K and Take-Two, while they have the Switch in mind this year, it may miss the same window as the others. That could be due to a couple things. It could be due to maybe they have to do some fine touches on it. Maybe it could be even manufacturing the carts, packaging, distribution, really logistical stuff. It might not have anything to do with actual programming. It could just be, well, we're trying to get these carts stamped and printed and put out there, but it's taking a little longer in the assembly lines as opposed to pressing discs like Blu-rays that we're used to for the Xbox One and the PS4 that really use the same disc at this point, let's be realistic. So it's a little different for the Switch when you have cartridges being pressed and put out there. Either way, even after this correction by 2K of their press release, yes, they actually put the press release out saying that date, so maybe somebody took off work or something that day and somebody else just kind of copy and pasted that date. But either way, I wouldn't expect it to come out later than this year. They say fall, I would expect it maybe 2 or 3 weeks at the latest after the PS4 and the Xbox One version release, say October 17th, for example, of 2K18. I would expect maybe October 27th, 30th on the Switch, so it wouldn't be a massive delay, I wouldn't think. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let me know what you think about any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is Kingdom Hearts 3, and if you think it will make the jump to the Switch someday. It's not going to come out next year, definitely not. They're still trying to get this game done. I mean, we're still waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's been forever, obviously, and they're so close to getting it done. The last thing they want to do right now, bring in another system to possibly delay it, because then people would go nuts. Also, let me think about the Splatfest for Splatoon 2. Did it sell you on the game? Maybe you've never played it before, you downloaded it to try it out, and you're like, wow, this is pretty fun. Or maybe you were like, well, it's not for me. I'll wait for the next big game from Nintendo. Also, were you on Team Ice Cream or Team Cake? I'm curious. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time.